like the actual storyline, I thought it was like when I was playing it, there was like all these little twists and stuff, and like thinking back now, I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
I remember liking it, but
I was 15,
like
so I was like, this
Shala-
is Shakespeare.
So like Magnus
no
is
idea.
Janice, and then Shala's gone, and then Queen Zeal, and all this love.
It was much better than I was used to getting in video games, so I was very happy with it. It gave me plenty of motivation to keep playing. The time travel elements were cleverly integrated, even if they didn't necessarily
and it was just silly enough that you didn't feel like a retard for liking it.
It was mostly light and fun with appropriate hints of like darkness.
Right, exactly. And one thing that kind of struck me as weird is when I played Xenogears, I was like, this kind of feels like it's somehow conceptually related to Chrono Trigger, because you have the same concept of like bizarre super weapon thing from space that crash lands on a planet and turns into God. Like, I think Chrono Trigger handled it better and with much less pretension, but it was interesting because it was kind of like Xenogears was where Masato Kato said, this idea I came up with in Chrono Trigger was really, really interesting. Maybe I should just flog it to death.
Other than the cartoonish villains, it was a game that actually had really good villains. Like, the main villain was just sort of a force of nature. It was an animal. It was just doing what it was supposed to do. But I mean, the other ones, like, Magus thought he was doing the right thing. Nobody was saying, "Oh, well, I'm doing this because I'm evil." Or, I think this is the best thing to do, and so I'm going to be an asshole.
That whole alien life
for such a silly game, that was actually really, really good.
It also had kind of the first little hints of unnecessary biblical symbolism. A little Queen Zeal and the Mammon machine.
Well, that was Wolsey. That actually wasn't the game original.
What was it called in Japanese?
I can't even remember. I don't think it was Mammon Machine. No.
That's another thing I can dislike about Chrono Trigger is that basically when Xenogears came out, it was like, it's the Chrono Trigger team, everybody. It's the people who worked on Chrono Trigger. You should buy this.
They almost got me on that, and I played about the first hour.
I played the demo and was like,
did get me on that. I went and bought that game and I played it a bunch.
I don't care if Luke is in the first village. This does not play like Chrono Trigger. This is not the same thing.
Right, but they tried to convince us that it was.
Yeah, well, it was a dirty lie and I caught on.
But they actually did do an excellent job bringing Chrono Trigger to the PlayStation. Like, I wouldn't actually want to play any of the PlayStation Final Fantasy games that they
released. Too many load times and shit.
No, have you gone back and played Anthology or Chronicles lately?
I played Chronicles when it first came out.
Yeah, I thought it was fine when it first came out because we were inured to load times at that point.
Oh, okay.
But now that we've moved beyond the era of
it's
load
not an
times,
acceptable substitute for the card.
I played that earlier this year and was like,
interesting. I played through the whole thing on the PlayStation.
When
I didn't really have any trouble, but that was 2000.
I actually got a buggy copy because I bought it to get all those like CG reworked like CG cutscenes.
Yeah, they weren't CG; they were actually cell.
Or will sell whatever. I like played through the whole game without a single one triggering because I had like a buggy game.
So you got Chrono with no trigger?
With no trigger and load times, and I was just like, this is such a piece of shit. Why did I buy this crap?
Wow. If you already have the cart, then that is stupid.
Yeah, I went back,
which is forgivable because they made 3. Mm-hmm.
I do now have the cart again.
I went back and tried to play Chronicles earlier this year, and it was the load times were so bad, and the resolution takes 256 by 224 and scales it to 320 by 240, and then playing that on an HD set was just like a visual disaster. So between those two factors, I said screw it, and I paid $50 for a cartridge on eBay, and that was the right choice.
That was actually I think one of the first games emulated on Super Nintendo because I tried before and it didn't work, and I was waiting for that to work.
Like when a new emulator comes out, I try that out. That or Super Castlevania 4. For some reason, those are like my go-to.
Which means
games.
I got into Super Nintendo emulation really late because there was a lot of shit in there that just didn't work for a long time. But
it'd be nice if Square Enix actually does put this on Virtual Console.
Yeah, they
of course,
will.
If there's anything that
it
Square
would
Enix
confuse the children.
It would. No, the Japanese players need physical media. They just don't know what to do. They just run around like chickens with their heads cut off. They don't know how to play those games.
It'd be very confusing with the credit cards and the dying.
Like,
and
they
my
gotta find
God.
the source code, which is on floppy disks and magnetic tape in a closet somewhere in Osaka. We just can't do that.
Yep. Okay, well, so basically...
Hanjuku Hero, though, they got the source code for that. They found that source code.
Our general perception here is that Chrono Trigger is awesome and Square Enix is boneheaded.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right, then.
I'm glad we did this.
Took us an hour to figure that out.
Yeah.
But at least we have a permanent record of that.
For such an awesome game, we sure sound like dejected at the end of this podcast. Like,
all right, so maybe we should... Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want to play it, but they're not going to put it on Virtual Console, so I'm not going to...
That's why my SNES is hooked up right now.
It is a fairly inaccessible game now.
It is.
But you should go play it anyway, gentle audience, because it's awesome.
Yes.
I could deal with a re-release of that. That would be fun. I mean, we've only had Final Fantasy 1 like 9 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but last time it had Korean-drawn, high-resolution
Christ's
graphics
sake.
that still had bad animation.
No, I don't want it on
release ports of this thing from my fucking microwave.
Yeah, but I don't want it on PSP. I don't want it on DS. I want it like on an actual television screen with that nice Super Nintendo.
You have to admit that microwaving a burrito is so much more exciting when you're leveling up at the same time.
I wouldn't mind having Chrono Trigger on the go. Like, honestly, like if I could play it on my DS, like, I'd play it all the time.
I don't care what it's released on, as long as it's released on something.
Yes, agreed.
Okay.
You say that now, but it's going to come out for Engage.
For my cell phone, and that'll be awesome.
The original Engage, not the new one.
Big sticker on the box, like only works in the taco model.
Do you guys know why they won't make a new Chrono
got
Trigger?
one,
Is
it's
there
alright.
like, has anyone ever asked? I'm sure
Everyone
people
who
have.
made the game is no longer at Square Enix.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, to actually bring back like you could bring back Sakaguchi
Hori
and Yuji
technically
Horii.
still
Yeah, but you can
works
bring back Yuji Horii and Sakaguchi and Akira Toriyama and Uematsu and Mitsuda, but they all work. They all have. It's like 5 separate companies. They all have their own company.